Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Lighthouse Tapestry. So I did see that they had also seen it on my channel. It'll eventually stop going on my channel, but just to kind of have people come over. So if you're on my astrology channel, come on over to Lighthouse Tapestry. It's very easy to find. And welcome everyone for the day before the 1010 portal. So that is something else that we're aware of today, that tomorrow is the 1010 portal. Very strong energies that are going out there. I am welcoming in tonight Wendy and Ron and Ruby. We will be your readers this evening, and glad to see we had some people waiting for us to start. So that's pretty exciting, So let's go ahead and get started. We will go ahead to Wendy, and she is going to do a clearing for us.
All right, let me see. Okay, so get comfortable. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And slowly exhale. Begin to imagine yourself in a quiet forest, glowing with the warm hues of orange and soft pink. The light filters gently through the tall trees, bathing the forest in a serene golden pink glow. The air is still and fresh. A slight breeze brushes your skin. You are safe here, at peace. Above you, a pillar of golden white light begins to descend. It touches the crown of your head, your crown chakra, and slowly moves down through your body, through your third eye, your throat, into your heart, where you pause and feel the warmth expand, down through the solar plexus, sacral, and root. Cleansing, aligning, and illuminating. Any tension, any energy that is not yours, gently released, carried away by the light and the breeze. Now feel the light anchoring from your root chakra into the earth. It travels down like glowing roots, weaving through the forest floor, deep into the earth's core. You are grounded, centered, and connected. As you sit in this sacred forest, invite the energy of Libra, balance, grace, and quiet strength. Feel the breeze bring this harmony into your energy field. Inhale balance. Exhale anything that no longer aligns. You are held between light and earth in perfect equilibrium. A sphere of radiant light now surrounds you, glowing with soft gold tinged with pink. This is your field of protection. Nothing unwanted may enter. You are strong. You are aligned. You are grounded in truth and light. Take one final deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel yourself fully anchored here, carrying this peace into the rest of your day. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes gently. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back in. So today I want to talk about the astrology a little bit, and I do want to give a nod out to Molly McCord, who on Monday did this beautiful, I think it's about 35 or 40 minutes. She was talking about what has been happening. And I know I've been surprised that other astrologers haven't been talking about it. So if you have an opportunity, she put that out on Monday. She's a just a brilliant astrologer. And it's very much tying into what is going to be going on with this Libra energy with us moving forward. Venus is in an opposition to where she was retrograding 6 months ago. And for that, it's us finishing up old relationships or any problems that we may have been having at that time. Basically, February, March, April, I would say, is the time frame that we're looking at, especially March and April, when she actually started the retrograde portion and moving back over that area of the chart in Pisces. So what I will say is we are now having some of those same topics that we were going through back then re-emerging and dealing with them for the final time. So for us, it's very much the energy of finishing up the old so we can start forward, going into the new relationships. And Molly did talk about this, that, the messages she's been getting, and also on our cards, everything that we've been talking about, the fact that we're finishing up our old karmic relationships and moving into our tribe relationships, the people that get us, that understand us. And we all can be forming different groups, and we all have a purpose together to work together in the future. And part of that also is then finding the relationships for that special person as well, because there's a lot of that energy of we are having jobs that we do together. And I feel that this is what we've all been moving into, because the things that are going to be happening are going to be so big that it's kind of like, I love how she said this too, that people that we hung out with back in different lifetimes that we really synced with are coming back now. And it's like getting the old band back together. And we're going to be having better, older relationships that really lasted, and that we're going to be doing tasks together in the future, especially those that that we're currently aware that we have a more spiritual side, and there's going to be more people trying to connect with that. And we're just a little bit more ahead of that curve. We're like the high school kids that are going down to the elementary school and saying, oh, I may not know exactly where we're going, but at least I know some of the path to help you along, as we're all really learning together, because the things that are coming up are things that we haven't ever seen before. So that's part of what's going to be happening. And the beautiful part is this energy of, and Molly got this too, we are going to be having people that we sync with, the people that just haven't, that we've changed how we view ourselves, and we have better boundaries with people, and we expect more of the people around us. And some people don't want to change, and they're not a vibrational match anymore. So what we're doing is we're actually naturally flowing into those people that are a vibrational match. So you will get this energy of finding people who are like, oh, I love tarot. Tell me more. So it's that kind of energy where people are, you'll find people that are open-minded, that have questions for you, that want to discuss things. And it will be so much more of a natural conversation with those people. It's like, it's like sitting around, and some of those times when we are together beforehand and together afterwards, it's just so much fun, because we have, conversations with people that, yes, we don't know everything about what everybody else does, but we enjoy the fact that it's a really good conversation, and we understand parts of what's going on. And whether it's Ruby and tarot, and Ron, and he also does cards and pulling runes. So it's all of that energy, I think, that we can relate with people that are coming up on our path. That's going to be happening more and more. And Venus is very strong this week, because on I think I said Saturday, she's in an opposition with Saturn. Monday, she moves into Libra. And she will be, before she does that, she will be at that 29-degree mark where we just had that 29-degree Virgo eclipse. So I'm expecting something to go on then, because I have my black moon Lilith at that same degree. And I could feel it as that eclipse was coming up. I felt it 4 or 5 days ahead of time. I was like, wow, this energy. So don't be surprised if you felt that was a big eclipse for you, if you're getting some additional energy in from that, because that's going to reactivate some of the things that the eclipse had something to tell you. So the beautiful part is that Libra is the next new moon. The new moon in Libra is at 28 degrees, which is very much about us having better relationships coming in, setting that intention for better, and what our boundaries are. Okay, if you're a Libra or a Cancer or a Virgo, you have to have those good boundaries about not being an overgiver yourself. So that's your boundary. What is this other person's boundary? And when you find the right people, you get each other. So it will be very easy. It's like people then naturally respect those boundaries. So I think this is very much something that I like the idea that it's telling us that if things are ending in one area of our life, that's okay, because what is coming up is really, really going to be us kind of getting a job assignment for those new people that are just opening up to the spirituality, the people that are more interested in how do we solve problems than be divisive. So I will again remind people, be in the observer mode with all of this going on. I keep, the news will come out, and then all of a sudden the next day there's all these bits and pieces and clips and misleading statements and things like that on both sides. Doesn't matter which side you're on. And I'm like, oh, time to turn off the TV. There's been too much of that for me already. So you only need to watch the weather. That's my thing to tell you. Just watch the weather, and that's the only news. Everything that you really need to know will get to you naturally. That's true. So we are actually going to be doing a reading for the collective. And the question for the collective is, what intentions are we setting in our new relationships moving forward? So we will also be setting intentions on the new moon. So make sure that you put a dot that we're going to be doing that, and we'll give you more information as that comes out. So we're going to go to Wendy, unless somebody has anything else they might want to ask me about the astrology. Other than that,
all right. Well, I was just thinking, like, it's the whole kindred spirits thing. And I've been having a lot of that going on, especially even just in readings that I've done recently. Just, it's like, wow, really making that connection with people and being like, you know what? It's like, I would love to even just spend more time with you, just talking and hearing your stories and all of these things. So I've been meeting a lot of people that fit that bill for sure. So exciting that's more of that is coming in. So for the collective, let me go ahead and switch our view here. Okay. I pulled a card from the Enchanted Map Oracle. And in answer to what intentions are we setting in our new relationships moving forward, I got a 52 card magical map shifter. Okay, so that's a 7. So that's a lot of different opportunities, paths, relationships, a lot of opportunity for meeting new people, right? We have, when the magical map shifter card arrives, it comes with a mission to make you aware of the people who come into your life to impact your personal growth. Perhaps you may meet a soulmate whose presence invites you to be the best you that you can be, or someone who leads you out of difficulty and into a place of safety or success. Pay attention to those individuals who cross your path today and cause you to reflect on your journey. Be awake and aware, and you'll recognize them for the important change agents they are. Your whole perspective about who you are and why you're here will shift. The magical map shifter always initiates you into a better version of yourself. And, that's something that goes right along with what we've been talking about these last few weeks, right? Is really stepping into your authentic self, really having that self-care, right? And even with that, the full moon ritual that we just did, releasing all of those things that no longer serve us, so that we can hold that space for what is wanting to come in. So I think that is just a beautiful, beautiful message. So I'm going to go ahead and pass on to Ruby with the card that she pulled for the collective.
Yes, thank you. And I will just, add on to my reading for tomorrow is coming out on the 1010 portal, and I randomly pulled a relationships card, and it was all about being able to play. And it was all about, I don't want to ruin it too much, but it was all about just being able to relax into being able to bring your inner child out and to be able to do that with someone else and not have to like force things so much and feeling like you have to constantly protect yourself all the time. You can just be, you can just relax into that. So that's, a beautiful energy. But I got the perfect storm with the shaman's dream, and you can kind of see on the chest of the raven here how it's like the eye of the storm here, and you can also see how it's kind of swirling in there. So this is about the courage to step into life. It says, when the perfect storm appears, it cautions you to be ready for an exciting, if turbulent, time. The winds are picking up, and you need to make sure you are close to the eye of the storm, or you will be buffeted by gusts that may take you far from where you need to be. The key is to remain centered and balanced and bear witness as the forces build in intensity. Notice how the loose stuff is starting to fly around, and recognize how little of it you truly need. Let go of the thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that clutter your heart and cloud your mind. Then the storm will be absolutely perfect for you. If you wonder what might be loose during the perfect storm, know that it is things that are most attached to you that are taken first, as if life were trying to unburden us of our righteous self-importance. Let it all go with the wind. The less you resist the change brought by the perfect storm, the happier you will be. Ride the winds to your next destination. Embrace the rain or snow. Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. The perfect storm can be a call for you to seize the moment. There might be a great opportunity that you need to take advantage of right now. Carpe diem. So basically, bite off more than you can chew and take the storm on, because you're going to be successful in that. And so because there's like this shelter and protection element, but it's also about biting off more than you can chew and just going for it with the people that you really can truly trust in your life, in your circle. So with that, I'm going to move on to Dawn.
Hello, and kind of tying into all of this energy that we have, I pulled ancestors, generations. And I love this because we all have that lineage that we came into. And a lot of times we are here to heal some of those ancestral wounds. I know many people who have been doing that very work. And this is saying that our lineage stretches back generations, and even thousands upon thousands of years. And the wisdom that comes with that being a part of such a long bloodline. And I believe that one of the first things we can do is ask our ancestors for help and guidance as we are going through these things, because many of the things that we are seeing come across, especially astrologically, are really ancient things coming back in. Especially Sedna would be one of those, bringing back ancient knowledge into a new time and in a new way. So I really feel that we can ask our ancestors about what is going on for us and for their help and guidance with our moving forward. So we're not just going on to new relationships. We're bringing in the very best parts of ourselves that come back from our lines after lines after lines of people behind us that were part of their story. So I like some of the things that the way that it says this. This actually is from the Earth Magic Oracle deck. And you have within you the blood of your ancestors. You are deeply connected to your lineage. The most immediate proof is the physical resemblance you have to your parents and grandparents. Yet beyond that, although unknown to your usual senses, you are connected to an ancestry that reaches back through the millennia. This is the time to call upon those ancestors, those who are of your bloodline, as well as those ancient ones who have walked the land that you now walk. I think this is telling us that we have other people and things that we can rely on, and wisdom that can be brought forward. And I do feel very much a lot of my family around me at this time. So with that, I'm going to pass this on to Ron.
Thank you, Dawn. So with the question being about the intention and everything, I pulled the rune, which is growth and rebirth, which I thought was going to be very good for the subject. So it's a cycle rune and called Berkana. It represents a form of fertility that fosters growth, both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, the relationship of the self, small s, to the self, big S, or the divine. A rune that leads to blossoming and ripening. This rune is concerned with the flow of beings into their new forms. Again, falls right into new relationships and everything. Its action is gentle, penetrating, and pervasive. What is called for here is to consider your issues with care and awareness. First, disperse resistance, then accomplish the work. For this to happen, your will must be clear and controlled, your motives correct. Any dark corners should be cleansed. This must be carried out diligently and sometimes with expert help. Modesty, patience, fairness, and generosity are called for here. Once resistance is dispersed and rectification carried out and seen to hold firm, then through steadfastness and right attitude, the blossoming can occur. So again, on new relationships and the tribe. So this is my opportunity to say I'm so thrilled to be with this sacred feminine tribe. It's I was a little concerned about my maleness, but everyone here, so wonderful. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the growth with my new tribe. And with that, I'll pass it on to, is it Wendy?
Okay. Yep, sure is. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and start pulling cards for those of you who are watching, or runes in Ron's case. So please make sure that you put a heart in the chat if you would like us to pull a card or a rune for you today. So I am going to be reading for MC. So I pulled a card from the Oracle of the Fairies. Okay. And going along, this is just like advice from Spirit on the intentions that you're setting in relationships moving forward, right? It's just some advice. So this is hidden depths. Something hidden is about to come to light. So perhaps a secret or a memory at the back of your mind. When we expose what's hidden, we can become free. So it sounds like you're going to be working through some things. Sometimes it's easier to be in denial than to face a challenge. So we act as though something never happened and pretend everything is fine. However, releasing the things that have been hidden from view can be very liberating and help us to move forward with our lives. The Fairy of Water comes to hold your hand gently and guide you during this releasing experience. One of the reasons things stay hidden is that they can contain painful memories. This is totally understandable. And if there's been a major trauma in your life, it's important to seek professional help, of course. But remember, you don't have to do this alone. All you need is to take the first brave step towards wanting to be free from your past. Once you've done this, there are people who can help you to walk gently through the experience and teach you how to release it with love. Then you'll be able to move forward feeling lighter and happier and ready to embrace the rest of your life positively. The fact that this card has appeared now means you may be ready to face what has been hidden, but only do this if and when you feel the time is right. Another meaning of this card may be that someone you know is keeping a secret from you. Secrets are fine, but not when they hurt another being. It's time to be honest with yourself and ask that others do the same for you. But be gentle with everyone concerned, including yourself, during this process. It also may be that you are going to meet someone who allows this kind of healing to come about, or even if you feel like you've really been already doing the work on this, you'll get to kind of get tested in a way almost by a new relationship where you actually get to put what you have learned into practice, so that you aren't being triggered or just kind of going back into old cycles of behavior in relationship. So I would really try to examine this, think about anything that you have been maybe not facing or putting off, or again, if you've already been doing the work, when you enter into that new relationship and you start to feel triggered, take a beat, take a step back and analyze it a little bit and think about, why are you being triggered? Is this actually something that you need to address, or is it just kind of this residual fear, right? Because that can make it a lot easier to step forward in a more positive way when you start to be able to actually recognize those things and kind of work through them and process them a little bit faster, right? Okay, I hope that resonated for you, MC, and I'm going to go ahead and pass on to Ruby.
Hello, I'm going to be reading for Gypsy Vixen. And I actually am reading from the Queen of the Moon Oracle for this round for you. And I got Realization, and it is the Waxing Crescent. It's the number 3. And so it's interesting that I got this specific one because that's when there's like this first emergence of light from the darkness. I'm seeing you looking through a keyhole here when it comes to possibly some sort of relationship. It's like you have this glimpse or this glimmer of what's to come, but you haven't fully stepped into it yet. So it's like literally setting the seeds of intention for you. So it says, with self-awareness comes realization. Knowledge is power. Self-examination of your role within a situation is important. As we move into the early waxing cycle, light begins to shine upon the shadows, illuminating what is. This is the beginning of a powerful process, realization. When we decide to really examine our lives without fear or favor, it can be hard. This is no doubt an act of courage. We might not like what we discover after all, yet without self-awareness and the will to act upon these realizations, whether we perceive them as negative or positive, we do not get to change and grow. The realization that we have a pattern, a bad habit, or a behavior that is causing us pain is a powerful position, even though we may feel worry and pain around this discovery. We can then take personal responsibility to change our situation since we know our current position. Knowing ourselves more completely enables us to accept ourselves more readily and to dare to love exactly who we are. And as I was reading that, I kind of like what I was getting from it was when Dawn was talking about the ancestors and taking pieces of our ancestors with us through everything. With you, what I'm getting is, while that's also true, whatever is through this keyhole for you, you're taking the best pieces of yourself. And everything that you have learned about yourself in terms of these patterns and these things, realizations that you have moving forward. And I think that you can see you're moving from dark to light. And it's really beautiful, soft energy I'm getting for you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dawn.
Okay, and I do want to announce that Ron is going to be reading for Willow. So just so that Ron and Willow are both aware of that, I am going to be reading for Venus. And Venus, the card that I pulled for you, I actually used the Enchanted Map Oracle. And the card that came out was Magic Prayer. It's a number 32 card, adds to a 5. So to me, that's very much about change. I love that it's saying, speak your prayers, listen for the answers, act in faith. I really get, when I first pulled this card, I was like, the strong faith that you have. And I think it's very much a part of your DNA, your strong belief system that you have. So when you get this card, it is a reminder that your prayers will be answered. Spirit is always waiting to help you and to heal you when you're in need. That said, the best prayer is, thy will be done through me, thy will and not mine be done. Also, it talks about we may not always get what we want, but we get what we need. And I think this is very much when we say those words, this or something better. I am looking for a better situation. I am looking for a better relationship, one that values who I am and makes you happier. It's, to me, I feel like this is allowing you to say, I can have better. I'm going to ask for better. I'm going to ask my angels and guides to help me with this, and my ancestors. All of that energy coming through, I think, is coming through because you want it and you can set intentions for it. And that is why I like this Libra energy that's coming in, and that Venus is going to be going into Libra where she is at home. Libra is about the divine relationships and artistry and beauty, and the Libra equality of relationships too. I think that's one of the things that we forget, is that it's balancing the scales. It shouldn't be like that, right? It should be exactly or very nearly equal. How'd they say, the scales don't always balance in Libra, but they're pretty darn close if it's working correctly, right? It should be close. So that is what I wanted you to know, because I feel like this is what it's saying. It's just, if you want different, ask for different, and you will get different, and it will be better. And, we have this beautiful tribe, we have this beautiful energy, and take that with you when you go out into the world and set, like, I want that kind of energy, somebody that gets me, somebody that understands me, somebody that I can have a good conversation with, all of that. I think that's very important for you. So with that, I will go on to Ron.
Thanks again. So I'm reading for Willow, and Willow, I thought this was a great rune. It's called Constraint, Necessity, and Pain. You may not think that's good, but pain is wonderful. It really brings growth. And I'll talk more about that before I finish. So from the book, the Book of Runes, the necessity of learning to deal with severe constraint is the lesson of this rune. This rune represents the obstacles that we create for ourselves, as well as those we encounter in the world around us. Both can be equally difficult to handle. The role of this rune is to identify our shadow, our dark and repressed side, places where growth has been stunted, resulting in weakness that are often projected onto others. In italics, it says, don't take this world personally. This rune is saying, work with the shadows. Examine what it is in your nature that attracts hardships or misfortunes into your life. When at last you can look upon the rune of constraint with a smile, and I encourage that, you will recognize the troubles, denials, and setbacks of life as your teachers, your guides, and your allies. The need for restraint is unquestionable. Drawing this rune indicates that there may well be holdups and reasons to reconsider your plans carefully. Clearly, there's work to be done on yourself. So take it with good humor and show perseverance. This is a time to pay off old debts, to restore, if not harmony, at least balance. So mend, restore, redress. When fishermen can't go to sea, they repair their nets. Let the constraints of the time serve you, righting your relationships to yourself, capital S. Be mindful that rectification must come before progress. And as always, consider the uses of adversity. So, I always think of when we come from the planning table, we buy tickets to the amusement park. In Willow, you get some with joy and exuberation and pain and challenge. And so we come to this amusement park and we go through all those. So don't think of this as darkness. This is a challenge and something to really smile about. And I hope that resonates with you, Willow. And I'll pass it on now to Wendy, right?
Yep. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and read for Shar. Or Cher. I always say Shar. But I know it's Cher. Sorry, Cher. So I pulled a card from the Cosmic Journey Oracle for you. And you got the 12 card. So that's going to be a 3. So I really want you to think about what you are manifesting, what you're thinking about, what your next steps are going to be. Because you have enter 1 step forward, 1 step onward. Okay. So you're in a thick fog right now. You can see only a few feet ahead of you, and that's all you need. Instead of knowing each move, exactly which steps to take and in which order, realize that when you walk forward, the next step will be revealed to you. This is a journey of 1 step forward and 1 step onward. You are being asked to enter your perfect path awaiting you without reservation and without hesitation. So I know that can seem kind of scary sometimes, being able to just step into that unknown. But I think you are being shown the information that you need to be given as you are needing it. So don't be afraid to take that next step forward, even if you can't fully see what lies ahead and you're not quite sure, you're moving in the right direction. I know you are. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Ruby.
All righty, I'm going to be reading for Shiza, and I actually got 2 cards for you. And when I was shuffling, I was seeing Wheel of Fortune, and wouldn't you know, there it popped out. So this is about luck and right timing for you. So this is a sign that luck has found the right timing in your life. You have the magic touch, and everything turns to gold. There is nothing you can do wrong. You only need to hold what you desire as your intention, and it becomes true. Do not waste this power on trifling things. Dream big, for surely this opportune moment will pass. Such is the nature of the fortune's wheel. Use the creative power of the fortune's wheel for the benefit of others, and the gifts will be returned to you tenfold. Use it only for your own gain, and you will be left impoverished and with the bitter taste of squandered opportunity. This comes unannounced. So notice the early signs, the coincidental encounters, and the seemingly magical synchronous events that herald its arrival. That call, that email, that invitation, and the chance encounter was no accident. They were all choreographed by fortune. Do not wait any longer. And for the second time today, I got Carpe Diem. Recall your boldest and noblest longing and invite it into your life. This invitation is all that is required. And what is it about? Shazam! I got Venus. So there's Venus. There she is. And I was seeing purple all day, and I was wearing purple, and there it is. I'm like, why do I keep saying purple? Okay. So this is rest, renewal, self-acceptance. And because we have 25 here, that comes out to 7, which to me is always spiritual wisdom. So this is about wisdom with you as well. You're invited to return to the pleasure garden of love. Oh, yeah. It is time to leave the field of battle. Put your sword away. There is nothing you need to defend anymore. Step through the gate into the garden of earthly delights. Bask in the joy of the wish-fulfilling trees and the scent of the healing flowers. You have returned home. So I just feel like for you, you might be meeting somebody that feels like home to you. Maybe it's not a romantic thing, but it's something that it feels like home to you. It's like a sanctuary, a place where you feel like you can rest, a place where you could, like I was talking about, where you can feel like you can be yourself. And something about it is going to be very lucky, and it's going to be something that is because you have done all of this work on yourself. When the Wheel of Fortune appears, it's a karmic wheel. So have you learned your lessons? Have you done the work? If so, the wheel turns in your favor, and that's what it's talking about. So you might be seeing signs, and it's a really exciting time for you. So congratulations. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dawn.
And before I talked, I actually remembered to unmute myself. So Ron will be reading for Morgan. And I actually went back and wanted to address with MC. I had pulled up her chart. I'm not going to pull it up, for the general population. But one of the things that I know is that because I know her chart and she's in one of my classes, and it's very much about Venus this week. That's why I wanted to address this, because I want everyone to really look at what Venus is talking to in their chart this week, because she's very, very strong. And this Venus is directly across from Pisces right now before she moves into the other areas of the chart. And that is where the moon the moon is for MC, and also Cheroklo. So this is an amazing opportunity for healing for her for this week. So if you are one of those people who has things at the end of the mutable signs, we're talking 25 to 30 degrees. And then next week, the very beginning of the cardinal signs, because she will be moving into Libra, where she's at home, and she'll be trining Uranus and she'll be trining Pluto. So it's those very early degrees up to, like, I would say 3 and 4 degrees of the cardinal signs. So think about what Venus is doing in your chart now, and maybe what happened 6 months ago for you that's finishing up now, that the universe is like, okay, now you're taking your final exam to see if you learned a lesson, to see if you're going to make different choices. And I think this beautiful energy of Venus moving forward, moving into those areas where she actually had a retrograde in the early areas too. So the fact that she's going to be in a trine with Pluto, with Uranus energy, I think is going to speak to a lot of us of new starts and supported starts moving forward. Unexpected things definitely are going to open up for you. And if you keep those intentions of those new relationships that are going to be coming in, that is very much that energy of Venus and Virgo. Can be also about our relationships with other women. Venus, besides love and money, can be about our relationships with people, especially women. So I think there's new opportunities for you to form those new relationships going forward. The next 2 weeks for me is like saying new people that get you, people that are part of a change in a positive way for you. And that's for everybody, that I'm getting that energy of those things happening. So I wanted to just use her as an example in her chart, that she is very much one of those people that that is able to utilize that energy, because she's going to be in an opposition, which is more of a balancing of that energy, and she has Cheroklo. So what is balancing with that Cheroklo energy for her? What is she opening up to for healing, especially with the Venus in the chart? And it's going to be hitting that 29-degree eclipse point. So that is, if that was activated for someone, it's going to be activated again, but it will be more of the gentleness with Venus going forward. So we did have Venus touching the South Node, and now we have Venus at the eclipse point. So this is big things, new things starting, very new things starting. So with that, I will go ahead and pass things on to Ron.
Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it. And I'm reading for Morgan. I pulled a rune for Morgan. And this rune, if you could see it there, it is strength and womanhood. So it's a very good rune. And this rune is of terminations and new beginnings, which again follows right along with the theme of what we're talking about, moving into new relationships. Drawing this rune indicates that the life you have been living has outgrown its form. That form must die so that new energy can be released in a new form. This is a rune of passage, and as such, part of the cycle of initiation. Positive growth and change, however, may involve a descent into the darkness as a part of the cycle of perpetual renewal. As in nature, the progression consists of 5 aspects: death, decay, fertilization, gestation, and rebirth. Events occurring now may well prompt you to undergo a death within yourself. Since self-change is never coerced, we are always free to resist. Remain mindful that the new life is always greater than the old. Prepare then for opportunity disguised as loss. It could involve the loss of someone or something to which you have an intense emotional bond, and through which you are living a part of your life, a part that must now be retrieved so you can live it out for yourself. In some way, that bond is being severed. A relationship is radically changed, a way of life coming to an end. Seek among the ashes and discover a new perspective and a new strength. The ancient symbol for this rune was the ox, a wild ox. When the wild ox was domesticated, an immensely difficult task, it could transport heavy loads. Learn to adapt yourself to the demands of such a creative time. Firm principles attached to this rune. At the same time, humility is called for, since in order to rule, you must learn how to serve. This rune puts you on notice that your soul and the universe support new growth. Again, we're all going through changes, and this just falls right in place with this. So I'd like to move on with that. But before I do, Willow, I saw your note, and if you're interested, I'd be happy to talk to you, no cost spiritual coaching. And I could, Wendy, I don't know how to give out that email, but anyway. So Willow, if you're interested, I'm happy to do that. And I'm going to now move it on to Wendy. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ron. And I can put Ron's email in the chat here in just a second, but I'm going to go ahead and hand over to Dawn. I think she's going to close us out and has a message for everybody. So Dawn, you're muted though. It got you this time.
I should have to put like a quarter in every time I do that. I will be very wealthy by the time we get to next year. What I want to remind everybody is please like and share on the videos. And we do have some just amazing videos that have come out. Nat and I did a class on Monday that we recorded. It was about money magic and how to utilize your second house to help you manifest. So you look at what your ascendant is, and then the very next sign is what your money house would be for the second house. So then there's different steps that you take. But one of the things that we looked at, and I want everybody to be aware of this, is we looked at the element of that energy. And what I found with myself is that I'm a Gemini rising, and Cancer is my second house. So for me, I have to have a flow of energy and not try and dam up my money, because when I do that, it gets stagnant. And I have found that to be true. So when I started to utilize letting the money flow into things that I enjoy, and one of those happened to be travel, which is where my moon is, the 9th house, that rules that second house, it opened up the fact that I did not, before I was like hoarding and I felt like I didn't have enough. And now when I'm letting that flow, I feel like I have plenty and I'm doing exactly what I want. So I would say go back and take a look at that video, because we address each one of the different elements, and it'll help you understand the fact that, okay, my first house being Gemini and my second house being a water sign, Gemini and Cancer are very different from one another, but it doesn't have to feel like it's awkward. You can work with that energy in your chart. So I do want to remind everybody to go back and look at some of the videos. And this happened to be on Monday. There are some future classes that are going to be coming up. I know that we will be having a very good class on the Akash, and we'll be having some tarot things coming up in the future. So really like, share, subscribe, watch the videos. Have people come in and like and comment on the videos if you wouldn't mind. It helps grow the channel. We are very happy that you are such a supportive group for us. We see so many names that we see you making comments on our videos. We so appreciate the energy that you're bringing into us. And we do feel, this is a tribe situation, and we are part of everybody waking up to this energy in the future. So you're very much a part of what's going on here. And we hope to keep things going more and more and more, but we would like you to share the information out there for people to come and find us. And we are going to be doing other things, showing up in different places, different media out there, which I won't be in charge of, because apparently I can't even remember to turn on and off my mic. So it won't be me that fixes that problem. It'll be somebody else. So thank you so much for joining us. Know that we will be having the new moon coming up in the future. We will be having other classes come up. We'll make announcements at those times. And we love having you here, and nothing but love and joy for everyone. So finish out the old karmic relationships and get ready for some really amazing new things that are going to be coming in. So with that, we'll say good night to everyone.
Good night.
Bye. And we'll see you for sure next week. I think we're going to possibly be starting on Wednesday. Is that correct?
Yes, we might be doing Wednesday at, I think, 8 Eastern instead, so that Morgan can join us too. So
Yes.
we will
Look
just
for the
be
notification.
we'll send out a notification. Just check everything. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Okay. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.